Look at him, all smiley and happy again. How is he always in such a good freaking mood? If I could just see what he's doing over. Oh, forgot. He's leaving. I gotta move fast. Where is he? Where's he keeping it? Damn. Where's the secret? Where is it? I knew it! He's running purely on caffeine. Wait a sec. How come it doesn't put me in a good mood? Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftandbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic way. Welcome. Today we are diving into an oh-so-common phrase you hear throughout the health community, and we'll be breaking it down to see, one, if it's valid, and two, what actually happens on the inside to make it true. This could be a short video. I'm just joshing you. It will be 13 minutes and 47 seconds on the dot, just like every other video. Got your timers out now. We are digging into the concept of good food equals good mood. How the food we consume interacts with the rest of our body, its complex systems, and trillions of microorganisms that inhabit it. And we will be covering how this interaction impacts things such as mood, depression, anxiety, and happiness. And just like every other video, we will be talking about how it pertains to living the healthiest and happiest life as humanly possible, aka longevity, which is one of the main themes of this channel. And you know we're not ending any video until we talk about some tips and tricks that you can implement to make meaningful change. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting kind of hungry. The fridge right there is starting to talk to me. First, let's start with what good food is. Good food, for the context of this video, refers to minimally processed, nutrient-dense, naturally raised or farmed foods that wouldn't be too far off from what our ancestors would be eating 10,000 years ago. Plants, meats, fish, and all of their subcategories. Not anything that looks or tastes like Lucky Charms. Whew, getting flashbacks. But you get the point. Now you may be saying, hey, what about all the other foods? You know, those foods that are prevalent throughout the aisles of the average grocery store. Cereals, protein bars, frozen dinners, dino nuggets, and ice cream. I mean, it's in the grocery store, so it has to be real food, right? That might be where our problems begin. How, you ask? What an excellent question that I'm just totally unprepared for. Well, it may have something to do with the association found between our food, inflammation, and our mood. The good, the bad, the ugly with inflammation. Inflammation falls into that common category of things that are both life-saving and disease-accelerating. Hell of a category, right? As always, like everything else in this world, it depends on the context. When inflammation is in an acute fashion, such as in a response to fighting an internal pathogen or healing an external wound, its swift and swarming siege is essential for survival. But, as we break down in this video here, chronic low-dose systemic inflammation is one of the biggest longevity liabilities that we all face as we go through life. This is the continuous upregulation of our innate immune system as a response to the lifestyle that we live and the environmental conditions that we continuously put ourselves in. And as it pertains to mood, there is growing evidence supporting the hypothesis that depression, fatigue, and down-regulated mood are all associated with the increased activation of our immune system. And wouldn't you know it, one of the main contributors to this double-edged biological sword is the food we Is there a link between processed foods and inflammation? Here's a research-backed claim. The type, quantity, and quality of food that we put inside our body has both a direct and indirect impact on our physiological, psychological, and biochemical states. It's as simple as that. And one of the main systems that it can activate is our in-house military, the immune system. The food we eat has been shown to influence the prevalence of immune agitating cellular and metabolic states throughout our body. And it can do this in a couple of different ways. For example, highly processed, highly refined foods can lead to tissue damage, such as damage in your liver, NAFLD, liver steatosis. It could lead to visceral fat accumulation, which is the bad fat. Cellular senescence, or a state where the cell is so damaged it can't divide anymore and it just sits there as a zombie cell, thus leading to the secretion of inflammatory molecules such as inflammatory cytokines. Those three examples right there rev up the immune system. And this is something our body can often handle in acute, short circumstances. But we all know there ain't nothing acute about the modern day food landscape. You get it? Okay. Keep rolling. Keep going, people. Another failed joke. And when this way of eating is continuous, which it is for many in Western society, it can lead one down into a state of low-dose chronic inflammation, which ain't good for business. Now, I also want you to know that some classified healthy foods can also trigger some inflammatory side effects. So it truly comes down to learning about your unique food sensitivities and building a strategy around that. Moving on, another place that inflammation can materialize is in the gut. You know, that barrier from the external world in which we consume and our internal world. Did you know that the majority of our immune system camps out on the other side, the internal side of our gut wall? Acting as the bouncers for the most exclusive club in town, the circulatory system. Sounds like a cool place, right? You see, for us humans to extract the energy from the food we consume, we gotta break it down and absorb it. And we absorb the majority of it via the intestines as this food passes through the digestive tract. But guess what? Every bite we take comes with a hefty serving of potential pathogens, bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi, microorganisms that we can't see from the environment. And before you freak out, this is a common part of life. Many of these microorganisms are just passing through. And if they decide to knock on our epithelial cells and gain entrance into the hottest club in town, that's what we have our bouncers for, to only let the VIPs in. This video is going to change your clubbing experience forever. Trust me. This is all fine and dandy when this system is working optimally. But if the bouncers are short-staffed or tired because of poor lifestyle habits and environmental conditions that we put ourselves in, there's a higher likelihood that unwanted clubgoers will get in and start causing trouble. And when this happens, inflammation is the common byproduct. But hey, we know that not all microorganisms are nefarious, right? A number of them are actually essential for human health, longevity, and mood. Are microbes. These microorganisms, whose population is somewhere in the hundreds of trillions, settle down with their families in our large intestines. And there, they have the power to make our lives awesome or rather uncomfortable. It all depends on how well we nurture them. And one of the best ways to nurture these little guys is with food. Because how else are they gonna eat? These microbes feed on the foods that we cannot or don't have time to digest. They ferment on all of the foods and molecules that trickle down into the large intestines and either secrete beneficial metabolites that drive health or less than optimal molecules that drive inflammation. So let me pause and answer the question that you're probably asking. Hey, Kev, how the hell does this have anything to do with mood? Well, that was weird. Well, Research is beginning to indicate that our gut bacteria produce hundreds of neurochemicals that the brain uses to regulate physiological and mental processes such as learning, memory, and mood. Oh, these little guys got some pull, don't they? Here's the scoop. When we feed them fiber-rich, nourishing foods, they aid our health, strengthening our gut wall and many times lowering inflammation. And guess what happens when we feed them the opposite? Come on, guess. Yeah, highly processed, highly refined foods, they pretty much do the opposite. And research points out that stress-induced changes in our microbiome can have a direct impact on our brain and our behavior, with a few studies showing that inflammatory cytokines secreted in the gut can disrupt brain neurochemistry and make people more vulnerable to anxiety and depression. Oh boy. Okay, anything else we need to be aware of here? Of course. Sorry, but of course. One more thing. Although the real whole foods that we eat provide many nutrients, vitamins, and minerals to fuel optimal health, a lesser known and explored beneficial pathway is how these foods deliver a slight toxicity to the host when they are consumed, providing a hormetic or beneficial effect in the long term, in the big picture. We dive deep into this topic in this video right here. But long story short, research shows that phytochemicals, which are in the plant-based foods that we consume, pose a positive effect on the brain by providing many antioxidant properties, modulating synaptic transmissions and improving cognitive function. Damn, okay, all right, I see you. So I guess the foods that we eat may actually have something to do with the mood that we're in or not in. So what can you do to put yourself in the very best position to not be moody? Yeah, to not be moody. Here it is. First, learn about you. Seems pretty obvious, but let me explain. Learn about your food sensitivities. Pay attention to how certain foods make you feel, both physically and mentally. Know that your food, what you eat, and when you eat, is one of the most powerful tools you have to alter your psychological, physiological, and biochemical states. And when you eat, you're not only feeding yourself, but also the trillions, the hundreds of trillions of microorganisms that call your body home. And know that everybody is different, so what works for one person may not work for another person. That being said, here are some high-level strategies that might be worth considering. Eat more real. The first one is as simple as that. Aim to eat more foods in their natural forms. These are the foods that us humans have evolved with for hundreds of thousands of years. Know this, if it has a food label, by definition, it is processed. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad, but that does mean that it is your responsibility to investigate that food and decide whether you want to put it in your body. Next, fill up on those prebiotics, which are fiber-rich foods that your beneficial gut bugs love. So feed it to them. Any real whole foods in their natural forms typically come with a hefty dose of fiber, so they are a go. And I know, probiotics, which are foods or supplements with live bacteria cultures on them, are hot on the streets right now. What I'll say about probiotics is, and we've got a couple of videos on this on the channel, not all probiotics are created equal. They are regulated a lot different than pharmaceuticals. They are regulated as a supplement. That means quality control can be a big issue. So if you are looking at any probiotics, just make sure you are getting them from a reputable company that follows good manufacturing practices, GMP stamp on the supplement, and do your research, right? Try to find a probiotic company that puts their money where their mouth is and actually clinically trials their supplement to see if it works. A lot of them don't do this for obvious reasons, so just beware. Next thing you can look at is meal timing. When we eat is proving to have even more of an impact on our health than we previously thought. By entraining our body and our organs and our digestive system with a consistent food schedule, we can promote circadian alignment and strengthen health-promoting cellular and metabolic processes. I cover all this in depth in this video here. Links above, links below, bada bing, bada boom. Let me know what you think. And lastly, we cannot forget the other two foundations of health: sleep and movement. These two are so important that they have their own exclusive playlists on this channel. By investing in these other foundational components of your health, you will naturally boost anti-inflammatory activity, cleanup of cellular and neurotoxic waste, and release those feel-good chemicals that will naturally put you in a better mood. Feeling great each and every day doesn't just happen, but we can all get there. And there's no better day to start or continue developing and executing on your strategy. As always, let me know what comments, questions, any random thoughts you have down below. After all this, it in fact looks like good food actually can equal good mood. And I say that off the scientific literature and personal experience. You should give it a go.